And returning now to our top story, the CDC Vaccine Committee's decision to change its recommendation for the combined MMRV vaccine. The panel voted to remove the recommendation for children under the age of 4 to get the combined measles, mumps, rubella, and chickenpox vaccine, I should say. The group now endorsing that children younger than 4 should instead receive 2 separate vaccines. Joining us now to break this all down is Dr. Céline Gounder, CBS News medical contributor and editor-at-large for public health at KFF Health News. Dr. Gounder, we always love seeing you, especially when you talk about really complex issues like this. So let's start with the MMRV vaccine. For some parents, 1 shot instead of 2, they say, let's do this, let's go for it. But what is the trade-off in all this?
The trade-off is with that first shot. So the first shot of measles, mumps, rubella, varicella vaccines, those come at the age of 12 to 15 months. In that age group, there is a higher risk of what we call febrile seizures. So when you have a fever, you might have a seizure. This is not specific to vaccines. In fact, a lot of infections can also cause this, but it can be scary for parents. And if they see a fever, a seizure associated with just having had a vaccine, that can disincentivize, discourage them from getting other vaccines down the line. So it's really to avoid those very rare side effects. Again, those are even more rare than getting a seizure with infection itself. But it's really to avoid those that they recommend against doing that under the age of 4 for that first vaccine dose.
So if this is about mitigating risks, does that risk not apply to the second dose now that they're splitting it up?
Yeah, so you would still get MMR and varicella, the chickenpox, at 12 to 15 months as separate doses. For over 4, usually you get your second dose around the age of 5. For that one, you can give them combined because at that age, the risk of one of those seizures, fever-related seizures, is no longer there. That window has closed, and so it is safe to do so in a combined fashion.
I want to also ask you about this hepatitis B shot. That the vote today was postponed, but let's talk about it in general. Why is it important to give newborns that shot within 24 hours? And what is the concern now if this policy is changed?
One of the most important ways that hepatitis B is transmitted worldwide is from mother to baby during pregnancy or during the birth. And not all women get prenatal care. Number one, about 10 to 15% of women don't get prenatal care. So they come and you don't know what their hepatitis B status is. And even if they had a hepatitis B test done earlier in pregnancy, a lot of these women are still sexually active, which is how they got pregnant in the first place, right? And so they can still get hepatitis B at some point during the pregnancy. Thirdly, the tests that they are suggesting they use for hepatitis B actually misses a certain fraction of women who might have the infection. And so this dose for newborns is really meant to be a safety net for all of those scenarios where you might miss an infection.
I mean, it all makes sense. I know that this is something you've been following very closely. You've talked to families who have been going through this, those who have lived through this. What did they have to say to you?
Yeah, I spoke to a man by the name of Alex Lee who lives in the San Francisco Bay Area. He got hepatitis B from his mom. He went on to develop cirrhosis and liver cancer, which are complications of hepatitis B, and he needed a liver transplant. Let's have a listen.
Sure.
I think they were vaccinated in the 80s and 90s when they were born. At that time, it was recommended, and I believe it still is, unless something changed. So I was glad that they did, because I didn't want them to go through something like me, the journey like I did.
So there he's talking about his 2 daughters. They benefited from the hepatitis B vaccine. So they did not get it. And fortunately, they don't have to deal with some of the complications down the line that he faced with cirrhosis, liver cancer, and a liver transplant.
So many ramifications and impacts from all this. Dr. Céline Gounder, thank you very much for joining us.